Humans have always been attracted to incredible rock formations, and for good reason too. They all have fantastic stories to tell. Some have been there for thousands of years, some have been the result of natural disasters, and others seem to defy gravity. We go exploring today to take in some of these natural wonders. Coolest looking rocks ever found. Fairy Chimneys, Turkey. Our first stop today is the Cappadocia region of Turkey, where several million years ago active volcanoes released their volcanic ash covering the high plateau of central Anatolia. Combined with rainwater and wind, the ash slowly eroded, forming these intriguing-looking fairy chimneys. Aphrodite Rocks, Cyprus. Surrounded by the blue waters of Paphos, Aphrodite Rocks, also known as Petra to Romiou, meaning Rock of the Greek, is said to be the birthplace of Aphrodite. There's a legend that says if you were to swim to the rocks, you'd be blessed with eternal beauty. Rough seas make this swim almost impossible. Oh, and it's illegal to climb the rocks. Árbol de Piedra, Bolivia. Standing in the middle of nowhere in the Eduardo Avaroa Andean Fauna National Reserve in southwest Bolivia is this lonely rock formation known as the Stone Tree. It resembles a stunted tree and stands roughly 23 feet tall. The shape is caused by the strong winds blowing the sand against the soft sandstone. Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland. It's taken millions of years for these impressive basalt columns to form in Antrim County, Northern Ireland, and they don't disappoint. They're the result of volcanic eruptions, and they not only feature the polygonal basalt columns, but there's also the chimney stacks and Giant's Boot. Moeraki Boulders, New Zealand. You'd be forgiven for thinking there were giant turtles on the shores of this New Zealand beach, because that's what these spherical boulders look like. They started forming 60 million years ago in sediments on the sea floor. Carbonates formed around the central core in a similar way to how pearls are formed, and they just grew larger and larger over time. Old Hairy Rocks, England. Roughly 6 miles south of Poole in Bournemouth lie these impressive rocks, also said to be over 60 million years old. The three chalk formations are constantly changing because of the constant erosion by the sea. The legend of Old Harry is that the devil, euphemistically known as Old Harry, used to sleep on these very rocks. Externstein, Germany. This is a sacred site that was originally used by the pagans and then the Christians. There are 5 massive limestone pillars, all in astronomical alignment. At some point in the 8th century, monks lived inside these caves. They carved staircases and religious reliefs into the rocks. It's a draw card for New Age travelers who like to visit the little chapel on top of one of the pillars. Devil's Tower, Wyoming. This intriguing rock formation is the result of molten magma that's become trapped into the surrounding rocks. It's still not clear how it grew to this size, with several theories being brought forward. Devil's Tower rock has a red hue to it due to the oxidization of minerals. President Theodore Roosevelt declared it the first national monument of the USA in 1906. Stone Forest, China. Here's an entire forest made up of limestone forming a surreal landscape of blade-like columns. This UNESCO World Heritage Site formed roughly 270 million years ago, and this area used to be a shallow sea. The accumulation of sandstone and limestone pushed up into the air, and with the wind and the water eroding it, these beautiful stone pillars were formed. Irs Rocks, Australia. Also known as Uluru, Irs Rock is probably one of the most famous natural landmarks in Australia. Located in central Australia, this rock formation exceeds 1,000 feet in height. If you were to walk about the rock, it would measure 5.5 miles. This is a sacred site for the Aboriginal tribes. People who have stolen bits of the rock have all said to suffer with some form of bad luck, even going so far as to return the pieces they had stolen. Manburon, Russia. Located in the heart of Russia's Ural Mountains is Manburon, or Little Mountain of the Gods. There are 7 formations that range in height, with the highest reaching 137 feet. Local legends dictate that the formations used to be evil giants and that a local shaman cast a spell on them, turning them into these intriguing stone formations. Wave Rock, Western Australia. Wave Rock takes the shape of a, you guessed it, giant wave reaching heights of 45 feet and 360 feet long. This formation is a good example of a flared slope, and they're found near Bornhardt and Inselbergs. This effect is the result of erosion in the softer layer of rock, which is beneath the harder top layer of rock. Valley of the Moon, Argentina. Dry, barren, rugged. No wonder this is called the Valley of the Moon. What you're looking at is a fossil graveyard, and there are undisturbed deposits in this area that are more than 250 million years old. It contains not only the most incredible rock formations, but also fossils of some of the oldest dinosaurs and plants in the world. Among all that, you'll also find petrified tree trunks, which just add to the overall eerie feeling of the area. Immortal Bridge, China. This mind-blowing rock formation is located on Mount Tai in Shandong province of China, and it's thought to have been there since the Ice Age. These rocks have remained like this for centuries and have earned the nickname Immortal Bridge. The locals like to believe that anyone who manages to cross this bridge will be immortal. Devil's Town, Serbia. These natural rock formations are like those found at Utah's Bryce Canyon National Park. There are 202 of them, and they range in height from 2 to 15 meters, or 6 to 49 feet high. They're the result of volcanic action that took place eons ago, and legend believes that the devil came into the area and destroyed all the churches that were once there. Chocolate Hills, the Philippines. These limestone mounds dot the Bohol province in the Philippines. There are roughly 1,500 of them, and they're usually covered with lush green grass. During the dry season, they turn a deep brown color, making them look like chocolate hills. Kennesteinen Vagsøy, Norway. It's hard to comprehend how this huge stone is balancing on the narrow trunk, yet it certainly is. It's almost 10 feet high and is thousands of years old. The shape is caused by the sea, which has eroded it over the centuries. Basaltic Prisms, Santa Maria Regla. We take in one of Mexico's natural wonders next by enjoying the basaltic prisms in Santa Maria Regla in Hidalgo State. Reaching 98 feet high, they're the result of cooling lava. They've taken shape by the water from a local dam constantly flowing over them. The Azure Window, Malta. This natural arch is sadly no longer around, but it used to be on the island of Goza in Malta. It stood at 28 meters or 92 feet tall and attracted many tourists every year. It collapsed on the 8th of March 2017 in stormy conditions. It's believed the arch was created during the 19th century from the collapse of a sea cave. Balancing Rock, Canada. This rock has stood just like this for thousands of years on Long Island. This vertical column of basalt is balancing on its tip, and you can walk a 2.5-kilometer trail and climb a 235-step staircase to get the best views. Yuliu Geopark, Taiwan. This incredible rock formation is the result of a geological shift which forced a mountain out of the sea. Inside the park is an intriguing rock formation that's been caused by wind and water. As you can see, the top part of the rock has withstood the wind and water a lot better than the bottom half. The rock is called the Queen's Head because it looks a lot, maybe, like the profile of Queen Elizabeth. Irs Rock, Canada. This mighty rock formation has been around for over 400 million years and was named by Samuel de Champlain. It looks like a giant lobster claw. It's estimated that the rock weighs 5 million tons and consists of mainly shale and reddish limestone. The Ennedi Desert, Chad. This is one of the most inaccessible regions of the Sahara, but it's here that you'll find a plateau of very interesting sandstone formations. There's an arch that's called the Aloba Arch, which is nearly 400 feet tall. It is considered one of the most spectacular natural arches in the world. Delicate Arch, Utah. Located inside the Arches National Park in Utah, you'll find the 20-meter or 65 feet tall Delicate Arch. The arch is the result of weathering and erosion. The white-throated swift makes its nest in this beautiful rock formation. Hoodoos, northern Mexico. Hoodoos are a huge tourist attraction at the wilderness area in North Mexico. Like many previous entries, these rocks are formed through erosion, although with Hoodoos, the topmost part is the hardest part, which protects the softer rock below. Hoodoos can change in color depending on their mineral composition. Svartifoss, Iceland. This area is one of the most visited sites in Vatnajökull National Park, and it's easy to see why. It has the nickname Black Fall due to the unusual lava columns that have given it the layered effect. These tall black basalt columns look like a giant organ, which is where the name Svartifoss comes from. There are sharp rocks at the bottom, so swimming is out. Apostles, Australia. These exquisite rock formations have been in the making for millions of years and are the result of the harsh weather conditions of the Southern Ocean eroding the landscape. The 12 Apostles were originally cliffs, which changed into caves. Over time, they turned into arches and collapsed to leave behind these isolated stacks we see today. Bolton, Norway. If you're afraid of heights, then this is one destination you should steer clear of. Bolton is in Norway, and it's tucked away in the crevasse of a mountain. It's a giant boulder that has become wedged into the crack of the mountain and has been that way for years. Brave tourists love getting on top of the boulder for the perfect Instagram picture. Split Apple Rock, New Zealand. One of the favorite spots in Abel Tasman National Park in South Island of New Zealand is Split Apple Rock. The giant rock looks like an apple, sliced down the middle. It split apart due to the force generated by the freezing and expansion of the water inside the cracks left over from the Ice Age. The best time to view the boulders is during high tide. It's said that it was split when Zeus and Poseidon were fighting over Dione, with some sources claiming she was the first wife of Zeus and the mother to Aphrodite. Alright everybody, let's take a break for a second to revisit yesterday's video, Most Amazing Accidental Historical Discoveries. Are you ready for the trivia answer? Here's today's quiz question winner. We asked yesterday about the famous Rosetta Stone, which weighed a total of 1,680 pounds. Congratulations, you got the answer correct. Keep coming back every week and keep on watching. If you didn't get a chance to chime in yesterday, comment down below and let's talk about which of these places you would visit if you could. I would love to see the Giant's Causeway in Ireland. 1. Tsingy de Beimaraha, Madagascar. This limestone forest is surreal to see. Located just off the western coast of Madagascar, Tsingy de Beimaraha is filled with sharp limestone pinnacles. The landscape is diverse and has many undisturbed forests, rolling hills, lakes, and swamps, filled with many rare and endangered birds and lemurs. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe over here for more videos and hit the like button right over here.